what's the one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
I think the key piece of career advice I wish I'd had at the very start would have quite simply been find a mentor. It's something that I think I would have really, really benefited from. I probably didn't even know what a mentor was when I first started my career, like over a decade ago. And it's something in the last sort of 5-6 years that I found really, really beneficial. You know, having that kind of person there to bounce ideas off, approach, maybe talk about your career progression, maybe learn from their own experiences has been so beneficial in the last few years. And I've had some really, really good and strong mentors that have either helped me with my career direction or helped me build my kind of skill set. So yeah, if there's one piece of advice I think everybody should take at the start of their career is look for mentors. It could be, you know, you look for a mentor for like, hey, I want to go into this area or this field or this type of job role. So maybe you look for somebody who's already doing that. Or as I said, it could be that you want to like expand your skill set. So maybe you want to improve as a leader, maybe you want to improve your communication skills. So you can kind of seek out somebody, maybe start that kind of relationship to then having to mentor you and, you know, you trying to return the favor and then where you can, like, and appreciate when you're early in your career, there might be very little you can kind of return. But it's just something that's been so powerful the last few years. So I think that is the one piece of advice I wish I'd had at the start. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you're not necessarily quite junior, but you're at the start of your career, finding somebody who can offer that real advice is so beneficial to you going forwards, isn't it? Because especially if you've come from like an educational background and you've come from university, going into your first role is quite daunting because it's a completely different environment. The way you communicate with people is different. So as you say, having somebody there who you can not necessarily lean on, but offer real advice is so beneficial to you at the start of your career.
Yeah, especially you can learn from others' experiences, so you can see, hey, you had a similar situation to me, I'm experiencing this, or you know, how have you overcome these kind of challenges in your own career in the past, and it can give you ideas that you can then kind of go away and try or implement and see do they work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I also just think having somebody that's not your manager kind of there is again just really, really beneficial, and it's something that's helped me later on in my career that I wish I'd had at the start.
Perfect. And secondly, can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that's made a significant impact?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few. When I was thinking of this question, a few different ones, but I think one of the key ones for me was kind of making the decision to switch industries and switch kind of job roles. So previously, I worked for a long time in kind of financial services, and you know, that was kind of going quite well, and I was progressing through the company, and I was kind of offered a promotion opportunity. But then at the same time, I was also offered a promotion opportunity in a completely different industry, something I'd never worked in a slightly different role as well to what I was previously doing. And it kind of offered me that chance of, do I want to continue on the path that I'm currently on, or do I want to see if I can apply what I've learned so far into a completely different area and completely different situation. I decided to make that kind of leap and jump, as many people do, to kind of a different company in a different industry. And I think it's just really, really benefited me, even from just like a mindset shift of, because you have those kind of feelings of imposter syndrome sometimes. I think many of us do, like, okay, I'm really, really good at this one company, but could I replicate the same results somewhere else? Or is it really good in this one area, in this one job? And I think that's kind of grown me in confidence over the last couple of years in that, okay, no, but it's not just one industry or one field, but I can kind of apply my experiences to it. It can be in different areas. So that's been really helpful just from like a confidence and kind of motivation perspective. But then also it's offered a lot of opportunities in terms of, you know, you meet a whole new range of people, you work with a whole different type of tech stack and kind of infrastructure and even kind of organization setup, which has kind of been fantastic. And yeah, from that, I think I've just kind of been able to grow my own network and improve my skill set, improve my level of experience, and just meet a ton of new people, which is, I think, now puts me in a better position than maybe if I just stayed kind of put the whole time and kind of just focused on what I was focused in. So yeah, that that decision to kind of move, I think it's been very, very pivotal in my career, and I can really see the difference on where I was maybe 3-4 years ago versus now.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, did you see like a shift in either the mindset, or did you see a difference moving industries and going through that challenge? And like you say, if you'd have stayed within financial services, do you feel like it would have progressed as quick as you did, or do you think there would have been like limitations with being in that environment?
I think it's one of those where potentially you would progress, but how much is your career development? So you can maybe climb a couple of steps higher, but how much are you kind of expanding your knowledge? How much more are you learning? And then with the kind of longer vision and kind of longer term idea, how much are you developing so that way down the road, you're kind of in a position where you go, look, I've got all this experience. I've worked with all these different types of leaders, different types of people, different types of organizational structures. So I think having that experience probably outweighs that. Then maybe if I just stayed put.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
Sure. So I think one of the big ones is probably harping back a little bit to what I said at the beginning, is around mentors. One of the things that I've used over the last few years is when I'm facing certain types of challenges, I will go and approach the mentor that I have, or possibly mentors sometimes, I have more than one. And I'll kind of say, hey, I'm experiencing this, and then I bounce ideas off them, and it might help me kind of, resolve that. If it's kind of a bigger issue that I know I need to deal with, maybe it's very, very specific. One of the things that I do is just kind of basic root cause analysis where possible. Try and understand, can I diagnose the illness rather than the symptom? But like, what is the actual reason for that? So I do a lot around kind of root cause analysis and trying to sit down, take a little bit of time to actually think, okay, is it this thing that I'm experiencing, or is it something else that's causing that? And then can I tackle that? And then when I have like a rough idea of where I want to approach, it's about just breaking that down as much as possible into like smaller steps. If you look at like a program and the program's maybe off track or something, it's not going to deliver. That could be quite difficult to just think like, oh, the whole thing's gone red. Instead of, okay, let's take a step back. What's actually causing this? Is it like a small issue? Is it a knock-on effect? Or is it a whole range of different issues? Okay, let's break that down. Which one's got the priority, and kind of take that approach to many different things. That's usually the approach I use.
I think it makes sense as well, don't you? When you face with a challenge head on, the normal kind of way to deal with it is to look at it as one thing and say, what is the issue, rather than dissecting it and looking at little, I suppose, as you said, as a program, looking at smaller parts of the program and seeing where the problem has come from.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to give yourself that little bit of breathing room, just sit and think, instead of maybe just sitting in the kind of, oh no, it's all going wrong. Instead, giving yourself the opportunity to kind of sit back, try and take that kind of bird's eye view of the problem, and then work out where to kind of go from there.